counsel. Okay, Mr. McDonald, you know that I don't even have to tell you this, that your attorneys did a great job. You already know this. You could tell your demeanor reaction after they got you all the murder and down to the manslaughter and just every objection and everything they've done, and both sides that they've fought, done a great job. I've had a lot of cases in here. They've done a great job, but now we're down to manslaughter, so I have to consider manslaughter. And go ahead and stand. I'm going to tell you on base, Mr. I'm weighing the mitigating on versus, obviously the bad. I mean, you have no criminal history, military service, you become a major in the Air Force, and obviously nothing justifies a death, but I understand the anger if I truly believe you as far as tattoos, or at least you believe it, the cheating, the money in the business, and at least from your eyes that you thought they're going to off me or they're going to kill me pretty soon over there. So take that all as true. I can understand the anger, but still not a right to take a life. In addition, it seems like you had prior to this a good relationship with your mother-in-law, and they're strong, because I've seen some families in here before that have come in here and they're just mad and yelling and don't even want to look at the defendant. They've actually seemed like they still care. At least I can't put words in their mouth, but more forgiving than I've seen others. And not that others are wrong, it just seems like they still care for you. She said you were a smart man, intelligent man, you didn't have to do this. So that was strong of her and the rest of the family members. I think your sister says it here too in the letter, basically can say it better. No prior criminal history, no prior arrest, no record of discipline, distinguished military career, no prior history of discipline throughout his life. She talks about your support of Elena and helping her with her disability or autism. But I also have to weigh that against, what I heard in the testimony is more on the punishment side. I saw your anger. I told you I understand some of it, but I saw your anger where you said you wanted to go hit the bones, even though I believe that was more of just covering up. But that anger of everything that you had heard and cutting off prosecutors too sometimes before on their objections to hearsay. I could see that temperament, and I think I recall Gamber's testimony saying that if I ever die or get killed, it's going to be because of your actions. So she obviously felt some fear there, and I did hear some evidence in prior assaults, even maybe, I don't want to say minor, because no assaults are egregious, but I didn't see any arrest on that or major bruising. Obviously this caused the death in this incident, but it's also devastating that you had to cause her death with your child. I mean, at home, coming down, seeing part of it, and being there, and you know this because I watched your eyes. The only time it maybe welled up a little was when they're talking about your daughter. It's terrible that she had to be there, and then with the victim's body with cow bones. That's also sickening to leave her there with cow bones. Again, cover your actions, but to do that with the animal cow bones. In addition, not to top it off, is weighing this against your mitigating stuff, is that you burned her body, you beat it with a hammer, and desecrated her corpse. Like after that, it didn't seem. It almost seems like emotional, like a serial killer or something. It doesn't match up with your military career and everything else that you got here. It just it didn't fly with your background. And the last thing that kind of had me weighing is your emotional state throughout this trial. And it's not, I'm saying remorse is, you have to take your attorney's advice, but you never, it's not remorse like I did it or I felt wrong. You just didn't show any compassion or emotion for the defendant's father was up here testifying. It almost seemed like, I was watching you, and obviously can't put words at your mouth, but I'm watching you, what I see. And it's almost like I don't say enjoying it, but a smirk. I would think you'd be hands on your head or crying, or because you could see that some of them still care for you. Or her mother up there, it just didn't seem to bother you. And you weren't going to care for the mother of your child, for the death. You just didn't seem bothered by that. A lot in the beginning, you were on your phone a lot and playing with your phone. Even had my deputies ask me if to turn it off. I said, no, well, that's whatever they want to decide over there. And it disturbed me that the only time you seemed to pay attention is when they showed her bones up there. You were looking like very interested in it again, and not in sadness of some sort. It disturbed me. It didn't make sense with your background and no criminal history yet. And obviously you have to, I know there's appellate issues about getting up on the stand and testifying or whatnot, but I honestly thought, well, I didn't hear, even when he was on the stand, through the whole trial, I thought, man, if the attorneys were putting up, if he shows some emotion and it may even help him more. I mean, that's just my personal opinion. I thought if he showed that he had some sorrow to the family and whatnot, it was matter of fact describing, I'm hitting the bones like this, I'm hitting it like a movie, just no emotion whatsoever, describing matter of fact that I'm hitting her, deceased body in the face and giving it another whack. It just defied me in imagination. I thought maybe in punishment he's going to come over here and maybe he will cry and show some emotion. And I understand your attorney's arguments that you're going to say that at another time where you want to do that personal, but this is your opportunity too. So at this point, I'm going to go ahead and sentence you to 20 years in the institutional division of the Texas Department of Criminal Justice. The good thing that you have for you going is you're eligible for parole on half that term. That's just by law, so that's 10 years, or 2 years. Yeah, 10 years. 10 years. And I believe, did he have 855 credit? 55? Okay, so you do have over 2 years credit, 2 years, 4 months, so a little over 7.5 years. Doesn't mean you're going to get out. It means just parole eligibility. The bad thing is I do recall you saying that you were angry and that why the hell did this have to happen to me, and like if you were blaming her death for what happened to you. I can tell you that Texas prisons, Mr. McDonald, you can look at me, they are going to be hell. Depending, I do wish you well. I don't want you to get harmed in there, but it is going to be hell in the time that you're there, and hopefully you do something good and seek forgiveness from the family and everybody, and if you do parole out. Okay, so good luck. You want to any victim impacts?